Hey, and welcome to English Coffee House. I'm Daria.
And I'm Chris. We're really happy you're here with us.
Get comfortable.
And let's start with today's conversation.
I was trying to read yesterday. Just a book, sitting down, quiet room. And after about 10 minutes, I picked up my phone. I didn't even decide to do it. My hand just moved.
That's such a familiar feeling. Like your body acts before your brain even notices.
Exactly. And the strange part is, I wasn't bored. I actually wanted to read. I was enjoying it. But something still pulled me away.
I think that's what makes it uncomfortable. It's not that the book was bad. It's that the pull comes from somewhere else entirely.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about that. Because we talk about distraction like it's a laziness problem. Like if you just had more willpower, you'd focus. But I'm not sure it's that simple.
I don't think it is either. I mean, everything around us is designed to interrupt. Notifications, sounds, little red dots, they're not accidents.
No, someone put them there on purpose.
Right, and when you understand that, it stops feeling like a personal failure.
Which is relief, honestly. But it also makes it harder to solve because it's not just about turning off your phone for an hour.
It's more of a relationship thing. Like, how do you relate to your own attention?
That's an interesting way to put it.
I've noticed it with myself. There are days when I can sit with something for a long time, a task, a conversation, even just a thought. And there are days when I can't finish a sentence in my own head before something else jumps in.
What's the difference, do you think?
Sleep, probably. Stress, definitely. But also how rushed the day feels before I even start. If I wake up and immediately check messages, the whole day has a different texture.
That morning window. I've read about that too, how the first hour kind of sets the tone. But it's so hard to protect it.
Almost impossible sometimes, because there's always something waiting.
And we've normalized that. The idea that being available, being responsive, that's what it means to be responsible.
Which is strange when you think about it, because some of the most important things, understanding something deeply, making a good decision, those require the opposite.
Slowness.
Yeah, a kind of quiet that's harder and harder to find.
Or maybe to allow, because sometimes it's there, and we fill it anyway.
That's true. Silence starts to feel uncomfortable, like you're missing something.
Or like you should be doing something. Being still feels almost irresponsible now.
Which says a lot about how we measure time, whether we feel like we're using it or wasting it.
And I wonder if that's changed the way we experience things. Not just work, but everything. A walk, a meal, a conversation.
Whether we're actually in it or just passing through it.
Yeah, present enough to say we did it, but not really there.
That one learns a little too close.
For me too.
I think what I miss most is the feeling of being absorbed in something, completely in it, where time just disappears.
Flow, some people call it.
Yeah, and I don't think it's rare because we're broken. I think it's rare because we never give it the conditions it needs.
It requires a kind of commitment up front, saying this is the thing and everything else can wait. And that feels almost selfish now.
Why selfish?
Because it means not responding, not being available. There's this underlying guilt that follows you when you close a door, even mentally.
I know that guilt. Even when I put my phone face down during dinner, there's this small voice asking, what if something came in?
And nothing ever has, not really.
No, but the anxiety doesn't care about the statistics.
It really doesn't.
I've been trying something small lately. When I notice I'm about to reach for my phone out of habit, I just pause, one breath, ask myself what I actually want.
And
half the time I put it back down. The other half I still pick it up. But at least there was a moment of choice.
that moment matters, I think, even if the outcome is the same. It's the difference between being pulled somewhere and deciding to go there.
Exactly. Agency, even in small things.
I've been trying to read before bed again. Real reading, not articles, not feeds, a book with pages.
How's it going?
Slowly. The first few nights I kept stopping, but then something shifted around day 5 or 6. I started to settle into it, like my brain remembered how.
Like a muscle you haven't used in a while.
Exactly that. a little sore at first.
But it comes back.
It comes back, which made me think maybe we haven't lost it. Maybe it's just been pushed into a corner, waiting for a bit of space.
That's almost hopeful.
I think it is, because losing something feels permanent, but forgetting how to use something, that's different.
You can find your way back to it.
If you want to, and if you're patient with yourself.
The second part might be the harder one.
For me, it definitely is. I expect things to come back quickly, and when they don't, I assume something's wrong.
Instead of just letting it take the time it takes.
Yeah, we're not great at waiting without certainty.
No, we want to know it's working before it's actually worked.
Which is maybe the same problem dressed differently.
You know what I keep coming back to? The quality of attention we give to people. Not screens, not tasks, just other people.
In what sense?
Like, when was the last time you had a conversation where you felt the other person was fully there, not waiting for their turn to speak, not glancing at something, just with you?
It's rarer than it should be.
And when it happens, you've noticed it immediately. It feels almost unusual.
Which is sad if you think about it. That real presence has become something remarkable.
But also useful because you know what it feels like. So you know when you're giving it and when you're not.
I'm not always giving it, I'll be honest. I catch myself sometimes mid-conversation, half listening, half somewhere else.
I think most people do. The difference is whether you notice.
And what you do with it when you do notice.
I've started saying it sometimes. Just, sorry, I drifted. What were you saying? And people respond so well to that.
Because it's honest, and it's rare.
It also gives them permission to do the same, to not pretend they caught everything when they didn't.
There's something freeing about that. Conversations where you're allowed to be human in them.
Not performing attention, actually paying it.
I wonder if that's part of what we're grieving in a way. Not just our own focus, but a certain quality of being with other people that's slowly changed.
That's a big thing to sit with.
Yeah, maybe too big for a Tuesday afternoon.
Maybe, but it's worth sitting with anyway.
I think so, even if there are no clean answers.
Especially then, maybe. The questions that don't resolve quickly are usually the ones that deserve the most time.
And the most honesty.
Which requires focus, ironically.
Full circle.
There it is.
I think what I'm taking from all of this, not as a conclusion, just as a feeling, is that focus isn't really about productivity.
No?
It's more about presence, being somewhere fully, whether that's a book or a person or just your own thoughts.
The ability to actually land somewhere instead of hovering over everything at once.
And maybe that's what we're really missing when we say we can't focus. Not the output, not the efficiency, just the feeling of being somewhere real.
Grounded in a moment.
Yeah, which sounds simple, but it's become one of the harder things.
I think that's why conversations like this one matter. Not because they fix anything, but because they slow you down long enough to actually think about it.
And to feel that it matters, that your attention is worth something, worth protecting.
Worth giving carefully.
To the right things and the right people.
Yeah.
There's something peaceful about arriving at that, even without answers.
Maybe the arriving is enough.
For now, I think it is.
I'm glad we talked about this.
Me too.
Thanks for spending this time with us.
We really enjoyed having you here and sharing this conversation.
Keep listening
And we'll see you soon.
here at English Coffee House.